In this video, I will be discussing my reversion to atheism and why I left fundamental Christianity. Now, why did I revert to atheism at the time I did? Well, it was particularly because I managed to escape the hectic 45 to 60-hour work week in Canada, and am now a digital nomad working around 15 to 20 hours a week in a third world country. This extra time in my life allowed me to further my knowledge in many different areas. I changed my political views last year thanks to the YouTube channel Second Thought, and my view on free will was slowly disintegrating. And finally, my religious views started to crumble in large part thanks to Stephen Woodford's YouTube channel Rationality Rules, which thoroughly dismantles and debunks Christianity. For now, I will briefly discuss some of the main points which turned me away from fundamental Christianity. I will eventually delve deeper into each one of these points in future videos. First of all is the dishonesty of Christian apologists. Why is it they're quick to point to one Bible passage as scientific foreknowledge, but completely ignore another passage which clearly demonstrates a lack of scientific knowledge? Why do apologists all repeat the same arguments from each other like parrots without ever providing evidence or documentation for their claims? Another one of their parroted arguments is that there is no evidence for abiogenesis. And unfortunately, I put my trust in these apologists and thought they were being decent, honest people and telling me the truth. But when I discovered the evidence for abiogenesis, it shattered my trust I had with these apologists. Either they're blatantly lying to their followers, or they're not even properly informed about other views, and so they make a straw man out of them. I don't know what's worse, to be honest. Second, the philosophical problems within Christianity. And I find these to be the strongest arguments against Christianity. I already mentioned a serious philosophical flaw with the notion of heaven in one of my previous videos. But philosopher Alex O'Connor of Cosmic Skeptic, Stephen Woodford of Rationality Rules, and Drew McCoy of Genetically Modified Skeptic also brought many other philosophical problems to light. And third, there are the psychological problems. Now, most of this doesn't necessarily debunk Christianity, but as I studied psychology and read dozens of books on the subject throughout the years, my view of fundamental Christianity was slowly but surely changing. I began to recognize the toxicity of fundamental Christianity, like the constant us versus them narrative, which they push on believers, the negativity bias which strongly influences their beliefs, including the Second Coming. And also another problem is the stigmatization of drug addicts, which comes from a lack of psychiatric understanding. Since becoming an agnostic atheist, I've had one former church member message me and claim I was toxic and they never want to hear from me again. Also, many Christians messaged me and assumed that I had been hurt by another Christian, and this is what caused my conversion. First of all, how does this debunk Christianity, and why would I convert to atheism over this? I don't know how someone could possibly sincerely think or believe this to be the case. It seems to be a mental way for them to defend their own religious beliefs. They don't want to fathom the possibility that someone could reason themselves out of their religion, so they like to believe that emotions are what made them convert. Even though, ironically, powerful emotional experiences are usually the most motivating factor towards religious conversion, and evangelists often employ this method to recruit people into their beliefs. And I'd like to mention that growing up as a child, the original Star Trek was and still is my favorite live-action television show. I've always admired and looked up to Spock because of his unwavering logic and lack of respect for emotions. He is always someone that I aspired to be like. So I can assure you that emotions had nothing to do with my conversion. But if you want to continue making assumptions about me, go ahead. I can't change your thoughts, so who cares? Furthermore, they claimed I was never truly a Christian, and hurled random Bible verses at me without proper application. I even had to explain the verse to them because of their lack of biblical knowledge. But it seems now that I'm an atheist, Christians will continue to treat me like dirt and pretend I never studied the Bible when I have. And just being honest, but most likely much more than they have. I'm not surprised really. I mean, Drew McCoy of Genetically Modified Skeptic, who I mentioned earlier, also had very similar experiences. Anyway, that's it for this video. As I said, I'll go deeper into each of these points later. I just wanted to do a quick summary for now. And as Drew would say, stay skeptical. I should probably come up with my own quote, but yeah. Now, if you like that video, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. Or if you didn't like it, then hit the dislike.